Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. We are off the heels of one of the most polarizing, divisive, entertaining Royal Rumbles that I've ever seen. I'm Santi, that's Sancho. You are in a hotel, my friend. You are in New Orleans.
That's right. I'm out here for work, so excuse the but hey, just because I'm working doesn't mean I stop working. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I was in Colombia. I did it too. I understand.
See, the difference between you and me is I don't look like I was kidnapped. You know what I mean? This is beautiful.
Yeah, man. You were over there for Streamer Bowl, getting ready for some streamer Super Bowl NFL shenanigans.
Yes, we're going to have a good time here. It's something I've been doing for 5 years. And we have NFL stars with streamers, some big names. It's really good, dude. It's really good vibes. I cannot wait to. It's my element. It's what I do best when it comes to hosting. People like to say I'm unwatchable here, but out there I am very watchable.
Oh man, yes. Speaking of which, you were catching a lot of flack in the comments of last episode. So many opinionated people coming after Sancho. Woo!
I'm unbreakable. The reason why I go in the comments though is just because I let people know it's like, hey man, we're a community. We debate. And if that's not your thing and you're going to keep insulting me, then I don't know what to tell you, dude. This is not a, for me, it's not a one-way conversation. It's a two-way conversation. You know what I mean? If you're respectful for me, I'll be respectful for you. You take the time out of the day to watch the video. You commented. Sure, we don't agree. That's fine. I mean, that I feel like I bring a unique perspective, and I look at it from a different lens. And I try not to think of, like, what Triple H is doing or what's the booking, and I don't read the dirt sheets. So that's why I'm a little bit off base sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, guys, you guys would find this podcast way, way more boring if we were just agreeing with each other. If we just had the same opinions and we just kind of like massaged each other's shoulders. Oh, yeah, you're so right, Sancho. Yeah, I agree with that. You guys would get bored of this podcast. It's good that we disagree. And I don't think that anything that you said was like off basis. It's just an opinion that probably other people hold as well. But people disagree, and that's fine.
To be real, I mean, the Randy Orton is kind of a wild card because I don't know. I always felt like Randy Orton doesn't do what like a babyface Randy Orton could always be a heel at any second. Like that's my mind. That's the Viper. That's the legend killer out there. And I'm surprised he didn't show up at the Royal Rumble though.
Yeah, I am and I'm not. I was never expecting him in the men's rumble. It was never in my mind's eye to see Randy in the Royal Rumble. I understand that the narrative of the men's rumble was this is the most stacked rumble of all time. And it's not that Randy doesn't fit that narrative because good God, obviously he does. It's just that he fit better somewhere else if he were to return, right? Like I feel like it would have been a little bit odd if Randy returned to the men's rumble and did nothing about Kevin Owens. So when he didn't return against Kevin Owens, I was like, there's no way he's coming back to the Rumble. That just, it wouldn't compute, right? Like if you're coming back for vengeance for the guy that took you out. And it just so happens that the guy that took you out is not part of the Rumble narrative, is not part of the Rumble roster. So I didn't feel like Randy Orton fit what they were trying to do with the Rumble.
But I did call DIY. I called it.
What did you call?
I said it'd be shenanigans.
You did. That was not the shenanigans I was expecting, though. I was pleasantly surprised with that. But we'll be talking a lot more about the Rumble, the winners, what we thought, what we liked, what we didn't like here on this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast, coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. Of course, you could be getting this podcast 3 days earlier than everywhere else on the planet over on patreon.com/SantiZab. A Patreon that is popping, Sancho. A record number of new members over there because of the Royal Rumble, the hype right now with professional wrestling, and we want to thank you for allowing Sancho and I to do what we do as often as we do it. 3 days early, you could be getting this podcast, but on top of that, you get so much more content that it's not even fair. I post more on Patreon than we do on my YouTube. You get the Raw reviews, the SmackDown reviews. Now you're getting PLE reviews, so if you want a Royal Rumble review with footage, it's all over there. The 5 weekly Match Club watch-alongs are over there. The Undertaker watch-alongs. We just did his return to the Dead Man at WrestleMania 20. The Royal Rumble watch-alongs that Sancho you're doing. You're on Royal Rumble 2015?
No, we just battled. We just passed that one, brother.
Yeah, man, the Philly crowd. Oh, man.
Oh, my God. 2015 was horrendous.
That was a mess.
Point out, it's basically Santi and me combined. You know, I throw in content as well. So
Yes.
you're going to get a lot of additional content. And before we get into the spiel of today's podcast, I want to give a special thanks. I'm out here in New Orleans, like you said in the very opening. And the reason why I have this luxurious room is because there is actually a member of the Wrestling is Cool community. I'm not gonna dox him. Is Mr. X. I'm calling Mr. X. Recognized me in the lobby of this hotel and said, "Hey man, I know who you are. You're Sancho and with Santi. Wrestling is Cool. I love what you guys do." And he said, "You know what? What room are you staying in?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm in the 7th floor." He's like, "No what, man? I got you." My man puts me into like the penthouse type of suite. I view the sweet life with Sancho, brother. I'm like, there's like a full dining room, kitchen, almost. It's like insane here on the corner in New Orleans. It's a beautiful room, and my man is taking care of me. So I wanted to thank you. And it's interesting as a content creator, you never really see the fruits of your labor, so to speak. It's always just on the internet. It's a comment, positive comment. But to see it in person, to see his excitement and how happy he was to just, see what the person behind the content that he enjoys. And he's like, man, I'm like, dude, let me get us some Sour Patch Kids and put it on the room. He's like, no, man, I got you. For all what you give me, this is nothing in comparison, this little fruit snack. So I was like, I appreciate it, man. I really do. So it's really cool to see how our, I guess, spread of the dumb stuff that we do, Santi, how far it goes and how big of an impact it makes, especially for the working man, the working person out there. So it's really cool, and I want to give a special thanks again, a special shout out to Mr. X in New Orleans.
And then I saw Sancho in the lobby of the hotel.
Yeah, he was like, there's only been a few times where I've been recognized. And because, I've been in the content game for about 10 years and you're sitting there and you could feel someone's looking at you. But this was different because it wasn't like, are you that? He was just like, oh, my God, is that you? And I'm like, because I'm here for Twitch. So I'm like, I'm here for work, too. So I'm thinking he recognized me from Twitch. But no, it's from Wrestling is Cool, man. It was really awesome.
That's awesome. So I don't ever want to hear that the Wrestling is Cool community are a bunch of unemployed losers. We have proof that you guys are employed. And Mr. X is our proof.
The most, to be honest. I was like, wait a minute.
Wait, did he not approach you like some brain-rotted degenerate going, Sancho, wow, hey, we're taking it off.
You're unwatchable.
Hey. Oh, folks. But let's talk about the Royal Rumble. But Sancho, by the way, if you go to a wrestling event, you get swarmed now. I really believe that.
I do plan on going to, by the time of this recording, I will probably be at AEW's show in Austin.
Okay.
If it's a Tuesday, I feel like I want to be out there.
Is that a Dynamite?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, have fun with that, my friend. Let's talk about the Royal Rumble. I started off the show by saying that this might be one of the most polarizing Rumbles of all time. And I stand by that because we have Charlotte Flair, a winner that a lot of people saw coming and didn't want it to happen. And then Jey Uso, a winner that nobody saw coming. And now people are really split on it. Let's talk about Jey Uso first. I'll tell you where I am with Jey Uso, like right off the rip, before we kind of like dive into the meat and potatoes of the Rumble.
Monday Night Raw.
After Monday Night Raw. Going into that Monday Night Raw, that's right. We have a little bit of hindsight now post Royal Rumble with that episode of Monday Night Raw. I'm Humpty Dumpty. I'm on the fence, brother. I'm waiting to see where me as a delicious little egg is gonna fall. What side I'm going to crack my yolk on. You know what I'm saying, Sancho? I don't. I didn't love Jey Uso winning. I didn't hate Jey Uso winning. What did happen was I was caught off guard entirely. And that to me is a good thing. Being somebody that's watched wrestling for so long, knowing that WWE can still give me that shock and awe feeling was pretty sweet. It was pretty cool. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I love Jey Uso winning or that I hated Jey Uso winning. I'm not in either camp. I'm in the camp where I'm intrigued and I'm willing to let WWE sink or swim with this decision of Jey Uso. If it works and they make a great storyline out of it, I'm on board. But I will also be right alongside the angry people of the internet with a pitchfork if this ends up being really bad. I can be swayed either way, baby. Again, my yoke, it can be purchased by either side of the moral spectrum. Now, this episode of Monday Night Raw did work towards getting me towards the I like this, because we got that emotional Jey Uso. A lot of people were ragging on it. It took him forever to talk. It's like, brother, this is a guy that spent 20 years grinding to the top, was not designed to be in the spot that he's in. This was a guy designed to be a forever tag team mid-card guy, and he's now won the Royal Rumble, eliminating arguably WWE's biggest star of all time, John Cena. Even if you don't like Jey Uso or Jey Uso winning, I think you can relate to the emotion of somebody going through that, right? And that's what I was looking for, something human out of Jey Uso, because over the last several months, we haven't gotten human Jey Uso. We've gotten mascot, merch peddler, yeet master Jey Uso, which is fun. But when it comes to something like this, I don't feel like that was going to land with me specifically, all right? The other thing that I want to mention about Jey Uso is how disliked the victory was on social media, but you wouldn't have caught a whiff of that if you were in the arena, which is just further proof that we are just a little microcosm of the really, really vocal wrestling community. Everyone on the internet seemed to hate Jey Uso winning, but no one in the arena did. So just keep that in mind, you know, when you're talking about things online, that we do not represent the actual market demographic of the WWE. It's the people that are in the arena. But I can be swayed either way. I'm very fascinated by this choice, Sancho. There's a long way to go. Jey Uso versus Gunther does not interest me at all, and I know why, and I can talk a little bit more about that, but I want to pass the buck over to you. Tell me about your initial gut reaction when Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble.
I try to wonder, like, yes, I agree with you. This is a choice. This is a choice that you have to commit to. But the one thing I want to make clear to everybody is that there's still a long road to WrestleMania. And things, it's been proven in the WWE, change a lot. Last year, you literally had The Rock come in and steal a spot the next day. Anything could happen. They could make it a triple threat. They could add more people. He may not even be the main event. We talked about it all before we started recording in 2012. Sheamus wasn't even in the main event, and his match in WrestleMania lasted 18 seconds against Daniel Bryan.
Seth Rollins, a star, a main eventer, 2019 Royal Rumble winner, not the main event.
So many examples that the WWE has done a different thing, and it doesn't necessarily could mean even the main event belt. Like, didn't Charlotte go after the NXT champion and Rhea Ripley when she won the Royal Rumble? Yeah,
she even teased that again she's going to be on NXT talking to Julia.
So it is quite interesting to me that there's a lot of roads that can go down, and no pun intended with Cody Rhodes, but I'm just going to say things, and if you may agree with me or not, that's fine. The pop about Jey Uso got a Monday Night Raw. You cannot disagree that a John Cena, a CM Punk, a Seth Rollins would have got or Roman Reigns would have got a just as big as pop as well. They would have been just as crazy for either of those men to win the Royal Rumble. But the difference is Jey Uso's the ultimate underdog. He is the one that he comes from the bottom and now he's at the top. So the pop was different. It was a beloved pop. It wasn't a pop of respect or a pop of, this is the last time we're going to see this legend in the ring. It wasn't a pop where, like, he's the best in the world for CM Punk. It wasn't a pop that this guy's the tribal chief. This is main event Jey Uso, a guy who's been grinding for 15 years. And I agree with you about the promo, but you have to think about the family legacy that he joins as well. Joining the likes of Yokozuna, The Rock, and Roman Reigns to be the fourth member of the bloodline to win the Royal Rumble. And winning the Royal Rumble is a big deal. And it's funny because I made a video about this on YouTube. Is the Jey Uso window closing? And as soon as I made this video, and I made this 2 days before the Rumble, guess when my video starts getting promoted by YouTube? After he wins the Royal Rumble. After I said this whole thing that Jey Uso is running out of time. And in that video at the very end, I said, well, he could easily win the Royal Rumble and he will cement his legacy. So in my mind, because only about 2/3 of the winners of the Royal Rumble win gold from their cashing in, so to speak. If Jey Uso doesn't win gold at Mania, like, let's say that happens, let's go down that road. I still think he cements his legacy of winning one of the biggest Royal Rumbles of all time, and that's not a bad thing. It's just that when it's in front of us, Santi, we're gonna see it as a failure. But we look back on it, like I've been watching all the Royal Rumbles, we go, dude, that was a really stellar performance by Jey Uso, and that was a really cool moment for him. Is this the ceiling for Jey Uso? I don't know. But it's interesting, Santi, that you said that you're not interested in Gunther or Jey, and either am I. But it's just because they've already popped the cork on that one.
Yeah, brother.
Done.
Yeah, brother. One of the things I want to say here, and I don't want this to divert from the Jey Uso conversation because it's really it's parallel to it. Out of everybody that got buried in the Royal Rumble, let's just use that terminology, no one got more buried than Saturday night's main event, brother. Nobody got more buried than Saturday night's main event by this Rumble, because all of the big things that happened at Saturday night's main event were thrown out the window in the Royal Rumble. Like Jey Uso Gunther happening a week before, and then immediately Jey Uso winning the Rumble and then trying to pick up this potentially the same feud right up again, basically told us that I feel like for us to be able to enjoy this potential Jey Uso Gunther run again, you're supposed to ignore what happened at Saturday night's main event. Like it never happened. The Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman thing. Dude, I was mad seeing Braun Strowman go out to the ring. Like, you couldn't sell this for a week. You got murdered on live TV. And then not only do you go out there not selling an injury, not even hobbling, not even grabbing your ribs or anything, not even having a little bandage, nothing. You also go out there and eliminate Jacob Fatu pretty unceremoniously. So I feel like for us to be able to enjoy this Jey Uso run towards this road to WrestleMania, you have to pretend like Saturday night's main event never happened. I feel like that's the best thing to do at this situation, because if they're gonna run Jey Uso and Gunther again, I hate it because we've already seen it. So I have to get it out of my brain. I have to grab that Saturday night's main event worm and pull it out for me to get behind this this potential storyline. I love the Gunther promo. That got me a little bit pumped for it. But again, it just hits less when we just saw it. And the alternatives are Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes. That's interesting, but that's going to require a lot of selling for me to get behind as well, considering I feel like it not in itself. Like if you were to do Jey versus Cody, I'm down. Okay. But if you're telling me that we're going to do Jey versus Cody as opposed to Cody versus a whole list of other names not named Jey, I'm throwing in a question mark. Really? Like that's what we're going to go with. It needs a lot of selling because they already sold me on Cody versus Punk, right? I'm so sold on that. But if Jey were to confront Cody, I wouldn't be as sold on that unless they tell a better story, unless this Cody Lander is getting out of control, unless Jey Uso is the one that can ring in this Cody Lander that might be starting to teeter in the side of evil, something like that, right? Again, at face value, we're so early on. I'm just saying it's harder to buy that than it is a Cody versus CM Punk, and it's really difficult to buy a Jey Uso versus Gunther because they already sold us those wares. And let's just be honest, let's just call it what it is, Sancho. The match was good at Saturday night's main event, but it wasn't that good for me to want to see it again at WrestleMania.
It wasn't a Sheamus Gunther type situation.
It wasn't this match that melted my eyes where I'm like, yeah, run this again, please.
Because that's what worked in that WrestleMania was Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew. Like those three put on banger matches leading up to Mania, and you're like, oh my God, I need to see these guys. Who's going to do it? And they delivered. I think it's quite fascinating to see this Jey Uso and Cody timeline. Let's just call it that. Like, if we're going to end up down that road, because there is the thing of they were tag team champions. They did have that funny post conference of the yeet and all. Do you feel him, sir? Like there is some history there, and there, of course, it is bloodline. Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes, and I don't know. I mean, it's the problem is, you know what it is, Santi, is that you have all the other toys on the table that they look cooler. You know, they do more cooler things. You've had them around. You know, this is that situation. You know, are you gonna hang out with Woody or are you gonna chill with Buzz? You know, that's the question, brother. You're like Andy with the set of toys, and there's so many fascinating matchups you can have. And also the issue as well is one of the best toys out there for the WWE is John Cena. And I think John Cena coming out saying this is his last year has thrown a wrench in a lot of things in a different way that The Rock did last year. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like John Cena did it in a way where it's like, all right, it's cool. John, this is your last ride? Sure. But because John said it's his last ride, we're all like, well, we need to give John Cena the most ceremonious, best match ever in Mania. This is his last one. He cannot main event. Jey Uso can't main event over John Cena. So there's all that going forward as well. And I just find it very interesting that Imagine if Mania wasn't 2 nights. Imagine if it was one. Then it would be a bigger wrench because now you have to figure out who closes that Mania, John Cena's last Mania. Of course, it would be John Cena. But back to the Jey Uso thing, I don't know. You talk about they have to sell Jey Uso and Gunther. I think Gunther's doing a great job of doing that.
Yes.
Like you want to see Gunther obliterate Jey Uso and Jey Uso winning. Like that's what's going to happen, right? I'm trying to think what was one of these matches when someone's just getting. We just watched Rock versus Mankind on Match Club, and that was a different kind of outcome where someone was just getting brutally beaten. Gunther and Jey Uso needs more of a gimmick. It needs like a additional what's the word I'm looking for? Bells and whistles to be able to get it over. Whereas everything else, other matchups that of potential Rumble winners didn't need any of that. CM Punk versus Gunther doesn't need a gimmick. CM Punk versus Cody doesn't need a gimmick. Anything involving Jey kind of feels like it needs a triple threat or a gimmick, and I don't think that undersells Jey Uso. It just needs it needs to be a little bit more oomph into it. That's all. Is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing though?
Yeah, it is. On paper, it's not good that you can't be immediately on board and sold by just the star, the wrestler, right? The fact that you're saying, hey, we need the step stool for us to feel like we're on par here, for me to be on board here, that's not inherently a good thing. Here, I'll throw this out there. I'll say this, right?
Sure.
I think it's fair to say that the night 2 closer is whatever Cody Rhodes is doing. Whatever that ends up being, that will most likely be the night 2 closer. Whether it's a match against John Cena, a match against CM Punk, I feel like those are probably the 2 favorites. I think Randy Orton is probably going to be going after Kevin Owens. That's kind of the tea leaves that I'm reading. Whether, let's say it's John Cena or CM Punk, right? The other match that is a major headliner that they seem to be building up is Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. That's a massive match. So in a world, Sancho, where we have Gunther versus Jey, where we have Cody versus Cena / Punk, and where we have Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, brother, Jey and Gunther, maybe they will, but they shouldn't be main eventing either of the nights. I don't see how they could be over those star-studded matches. And it's a tough pill to swallow. It's a tough pill to swallow to say that, because Jey versus Gunther, because the cat's out of the bag, it's not as appetizing for it to be one of the closers of either night of WrestleMania. Definitely not a night 2 closer. We're in the conversation for a night 1 closer. And I've heard people say, well, you were fine with Cody Rhodes and Roman closing again. Brother, that's so different. Those were a year apart. Back-to-back WrestleMania main events. I get it that it is back-to-back, but we're talking about like months of separation between Saturday night's main event, Jey winning the Rumble, and WrestleMania. Like, it's too close together, brother. Way too close together. It's not at all comparable. And also, come on. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Don't compare Gunther versus Jey versus Cody versus Roman in terms of the star power and the story that was being told. But one is a clear headliner. The other one has to work its way to become one.
So are we leaning towards it's a 2012, 2019 situation?
I'm leaning towards that. It's got some juice going for it in that it's a 2-night affair. Back then it was only 1. And ever since it's gone to 2 nights, the Royal Rumble winner has main evented every single WrestleMania. But this feels different because of just how stacked everything is. And I can fantasy book many scenarios with matches that are more appealing to the eye at first glance than Jey Uso versus Gunther.
Sancho West from the Wrestling School Committee. Question, Santi.
Yes.
We all love the WWE. And what is the greatest sin that the WWE likes to do? I'm going to give you a hint. They love trying to replicating the past, right? Mm-hmm. They go, ooh, this has worked before. Can we do it again, or can we get away with it again? And what they try to do, manufacture something that worked really well, that was organic, and they try to replicate it again artificially, so to speak. Do they think they're going to try to screw Jey Uso out of this spot? Because it works so well with Cody, You think that WWE is going to try to manufacture a screw job so that we get a Jey Uso movement going into Mania, a la Cody Rhodes? We want Cody. We want Jey.
A yes movement, a yeet movement. It's right
yeet
there.
Movement.
We've already branded it. You heard it here first.
I'm going to send a letter to WWE. They're using the word train a lot. All right. Slow down.
Yeah, that's our thing. The trains and wrestling, that's our thing.
That's our thing. Don't you dare try to encroach in this small mom and pop's business here, brother. Coming into the yeet trade. When I heard Jay was saying about that at Pat McAfee, I was like, wait a minute. That's our thing, brother. That's gimmick infringement, man. But yeah, we come on, dude. I feel like it's here. It's right here, right now. If the WWE doesn't feel that 100% of the audience is behind Jey Uso, they're gonna manufacture a save the cat moment where you're gonna want Jey Uso to be the main event because he's gonna get screwed over, and that has been Jey Uso's thing for ever since he's been a single star. He's gonna get screwed over multiple times, and it's funny. I know you memed about it, right, with The Rock taking a spot, but what if The Rock did? And I'm not saying that that's the way they're going to screw him over. I'm saying that the WWE has habitual patterns of trying to take organic moments that worked and manufacturing them again. And I think that's what's going to happen with Jey.
Cool. Yeah. Here's where I think things could go. This could be something akin to the 2006 situation with Rey Mysterio winning the Royal Rumble. And then I won the Royal Rumble by doing a Hurricanrana on Randy Orton. What ended up happening as well after that Royal Rumble is that Rey Mysterio lost his WrestleMania spot because he got emotional and he put up his WrestleMania spot against Randy Orton, and Randy Orton beat him. But then they eventually made it a triple threat. It was Randy Orton versus Rey Mysterio versus champion Kurt Angle, because a lot of people weren't buying Rey versus Kurt as a potential WrestleMania main event. And it didn't main event, by the way. It was a great match, that triple threat, but it didn't main event. Maybe we're looking at something like that here, where somebody comes in and swoops and takes that spot. Dare I say, maybe a CM Punk favor? That'd be kind of interesting, considering that'd be Paul Heyman screwing somebody over from the bloodline to get CM Punk in there. This is what I mean, guys. Like, obviously, that's fantasy booking. You might say, don't let that guy cook ever again. But we are still technically months away from WrestleMania. We have all of February, all of March, half of April. It is a deeper into April WrestleMania. We have a lot of time for things to turn left, to turn right, to turn good, to turn sour. So all I say is be like Humpty Dumpty. Let the WWE sink or swim. Let them sway you which way you spread your yoke, folks. Just what I don't want to see is people doing themselves a disservice by saying, this was the worst men's rumble of all time because X person won. I disagree with you. I just feel like the rumble was good and you didn't like the winner. Fair enough, but don't let that ruin the rumble for you. Don't let this ruin the road to WrestleMania for you. Don't let this ruin WrestleMania for you when we aren't even sure what we're getting. I'm not a fan of let Papa H cook. You know I hate that saying.
I was going to say that, yeah.
I don't feel like this is a let Papa H cook situation, because when people say let Papa H cook is when he does something just bad, like just terrible. And everyone hates it. And then we're like, let it play out. Let Papa H cook. This is not bad. This is not good. It's a very neutral decision, at the very least from the online fan base perspective, where a lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it. But again, if you look in the arena, everyone loved it. This is a situation where it's such a bold decision, so out of left field, that we have to let Papa H cook. Or burn the house down. It's one or the other. He either cooks you a delicious meal or burns this down. Just let him try and win you, but do not allow mediocrity. That's the other thing. If it's bad, boo it.
You know what's interesting that I find most fascinating? Remember when Roman Reigns won the Rumble, right?
Oh, yeah.
He came out on Monday Night Raw, and everyone was just booing him, and he just looks around, and they less 5-6 minutes of just booing. Doesn't say a word. He goes, "It's my yard now."
Oh no,
and then he just leaves.
That was when he beat Taker, not won the Rumble.
Yeah. Oh, that was when he beat Taker?
That was when he beat Taker.
Oh my God. For some reason in my mind, I was like, that feels like a Rumble moment. because everyone hated Roman.
Well, yeah, because you're off the back of the Rumble where everybody hated it, so I could see how you're connecting those dots. Good God, at the end of the 2015 Rumble, you want some, you want something that everyone hated. Go back to that.
Okay, yeah, so that's where I'm sorry, my mind is warped. But I was just, when I was watching Monday Night Raw with Jey, I was like, what a difference of love between Roman and Jey. Jey being booked to the moon, being pushed to the moon, right? And Roman being pushed to the moon. And everyone hated Roman being pushed to the moon. And here we are, Jey being pushed to the moon, and not everybody hates it.
Well, brother, we have a better juxtaposition. You don't even need to look 9 years into the past. You could look an hour after Monday Night Raw with Charlotte Flair's reception from the Monday Night Raw crowd.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that bit. Can I rant about the Rumble? Because my mind's clearly stuck in Royal Rumble 2015 in general and Royal Rumbles.
Sure.
For those of you who don't know, I've been watching Royal Rumbles for about 20 weeks now, and I am in 2015 and been ranking them for the Wrestling is Cool Patreon. Man, I botched that whole Roman Reigns and Undertaker thing. But that's what Sancho does. Thinking about the entire thing about Royal Rumbles. I think a lot of people had problems with this Royal Rumble because the greatest sin that Royal Rumbles could do is get rid of your favorites in an unceremonious way. That's always a bad thing. And I always think, like, when I judge a Royal Rumble is, how did the people get eliminated? Why did they get eliminated? And who eliminated them? Like, those are the things that are on my mind. Meaningless eliminations versus meaningful eliminations are a big thing. And when I was watching this Royal Rumble, I was like, oh my God, this is a stacker. And what I mean is, when the 30th entrant is in, how many people are left? And this one had like 15 plus people in both Royal Rumbles. And I was like, oh no, this is not a good thing. And if you've been watching a lot of Royal Rumbles, you would go, why it's not a good thing? Well, it's because everybody's going to get eliminated very, very quickly. And you're not going to like it because it's someone who's been dominating, then boom, they're out that fast. And it's either by the hand of a big show or a big main eventer. And so when it got to the level where there was like 6 people in the ring with Logan, Roman, Seth, CM Punk, and Jey, and John, and I was like, okay, there's going to be a big mass elimination here. And, you know, CM Punk eliminates Roman and Seth, and then Logan eliminates CM Punk. My issue with the men's Royal Rumble was that it was sloppy. There was a lot of meaningful eliminations, but done unceremoniously. That makes sense. Drew McIntyre getting out, which I know there's a lot of hup up around in the internet about how he got out and when he got out and how it wasn't that much pizzazz. To be fair, it wasn't because Drew McIntyre got eliminated. It was who eliminated Drew McIntyre. No one wants to really watch Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre is upset because he wasn't upset on how he got eliminated. He got eliminated by who he was eliminated by, because he feels like he deserves better than Damian Priest, which I understand.
I think a lot of us feel that way.
Yeah, a lot of us felt that way, like, oh, Damian? Wepa. But in regards to the men's Rumble, at the very end, I really did feel that it was sloppy, that the moments didn't hit harder because they were just pushed so quickly. Roman Reigns getting taken out by Seth Rollins with a double stomp quickly gets paired up to CM Punk and Seth Rollins brawling immediately. Roman Reigns getting like dragged out. No one, there's like, it's not focused on. If you go back to older Royal Rumbles, that stuff stops everything. They're not going to continue on the ring. They're going to hard focus on Roman Reigns getting taken out by a concussion, you know, stuff like that. There's a lot of those moments at the end that are just, they just go by so fast because now you're looking at the ring and you have Logan, John Cena, and Seth and Jey Uso. So that's my only main biggest criticism about the entire Royal Rumble is how the end just felt so chaotic. And I think why people are mad the most is because of Logan Paul. Logan Paul is probably the main reason why you would say that Royal Rumble wasn't good, because he eliminated CM Punk. And why what's the justification? Why? Remember when I talked about good and bad Royal Rumbles? Why? Because CM Punk dogged him in like 2 back-to-back promos, right? That's why Logan eliminates CM Punk. The best in the world gets eliminated by a part-timer in a lot of people's eyes. Now a full-timer, Logan Paul. I think that's where a lot of people have their hangups about it.
So, yeah, I think I slightly disagree. I agree fully with the Drew aspect. I think I definitely disagree with the Punk, Roman, and Seth Rollins aspect. I love that. Okay. So
I loved it, but it wasn't. It could have been more important, like the way it
I felt like it was. Like I compare it to, because that's like one of those mass elimination spots. I compare it to the mass elimination that they did in the women's, and that is a complete mess. One of the worst Rumble spots that I've ever seen with the women, which we'll talk about later. But here, I don't know. It felt like the three most favorite, most popular guys, the three guys, when they were in the ring, like one of these three is winning. I love the idea that they didn't win because of each other, their egos, wanting to kill each other. Even CM Punk, I know you said, well, he got eliminated by Logan Paul. I feel like I could sit here and make the argument he got himself eliminated because he was viewing the fruits of his labor, like looking and staring at Seth Rollins as he just eliminated, as opposed to getting back and focusing on the match. Yeah. I think to me, the plot in that situation wasn't who eliminated Punk. It was these three guys got themselves eliminated because of ego, and then now we're going to build off of that. And now we've set up an unpredictable Rumble winner. We went from a predictable Rumble winner, one of the stars, perennial main eventers, to one of these three that not a lot of people expected. Even John Cena fan here, I wasn't expecting John Cena to win this thing, but all of a sudden I believe, because the three biggest threats were so egotistical that they themselves got themselves eliminated because they weren't able to look at the bigger picture of winning the Rumble and instead focused on the hatred they have for each other. That's how I interpreted that, and that's why I interpreted that brawl post Rumble as well, because even though the goal is gone, the match is done, the hatred still seeps over even post Rumble match.
Right. No, I think what I'm saying though is that moment should have hard stopped more the Rumble. Like, think of Shawn Michaels getting eliminated in 2010, how him crashing out literally stopped the match almost. Like, I was expecting that kind of a crash out from Rollins and CM Punk more.
You don't feel like we got that? I thought that Cena, Jey, and Logan were down for quite a while as they let that play out outside of the ring.
If you look at what Shawn did, it felt more disruptive. There are moments like when Vader back in the day, when he got eliminated, it felt more jarring. How he came back in the ring and threw out people. Like there's stuff like that, or Taker. Like Taker when he get eliminated, he would come back and hit someone with a chair. Like there's stuff like that I felt could have hit. Like CM Punk could have had a bigger crash out because CM Punk was betting this was his route. That was the story that he was told to us, right? That CM Punk, this is the way to get to Mania, and he was going to do it. And he boasted about it the most. And I didn't feel like he crashed out hard. He needed to crash out harder, brother. Like it needed to feel like it meant more to him. And again, I'm saying this off the back of watching 20 Royal Rumbles that I'm so close to it, right? That I've seen bigger crash outs from other superstars that it meant more. And I think that's what I meant. Like I was like, oh my God, CM Punk got eliminated by Logan. Why not let CM Punk, after going after Seth Rollins, go after Logan? I know that's a sin as well, that someone who's gets eliminated eliminates somebody else. That's all. I always hate that. Hogan getting rid of Sid Justice, I always hated that. Big Show coming in and eliminating someone from the outside is always dumb. But I think CM Punk needed a bigger crash out for it to stand out more. But I think they rushed through that so they could get to John, Jey, and Logan, which is bizarre to me because it's a PLE, man. You got all the time in the world, dude. Let that moment breathe. And I think that's where I felt it could have been a little better, a little bit better. Mm-hmm. The one thing I do want to talk about, though, as someone who's been watching a lot of Royal Rumbles, is I felt like the camera work at the beginning was rough sauce. And I understand why they're in these big football stadiums, but the small screen, it sucks being there live because I was there at the Alamo Dome. You can't really see the Titantron, and it doesn't feel big, because the screen's so small. It doesn't feel like they're entering like a big moment. Does that make sense?
It 100% makes sense. That was the same thing at SummerSlam. When we saw people coming out, like where I was sitting, the only visual cue that I had was the music, and I watch all the time, so I know. Right. First note, I know who's coming out. But for example, you look at the women's Rumble. that setup did the NXT women dirty, right? Like when Jada Parker came out, she just got a new entrance theme, like literally like 2 weeks ago. That's far less good than the one that she had before, but then not having a big Titantron that says Jada Parker left everybody like, who the hell's coming out? Like we literally can't see.
Yeah, and the same thing with poor Raquel coming out to the Judgment Day theme.
Oh, dude, kill that Judgment Day theme with fire, please.
I know, yeah, burn it with fire. But that's the thing. Like, I did enjoy the camera work because it would cut to like a higher angle, and you would still not see the screen. Like there were times where they had the front. I was like, perfect, just keep it here, guys. The lower third was interesting to me, like the sports lower.
Oh, I
third.
like that. I like that.
Right. At first, it was like, as a purist, I was like, I don't need to see
Oh my
all this.
God.
but it answered a lot of questions for me because there was times when you watch Royal Rumble, like, what number are we on? And it was kind of cool to have all that information right then and there, and like who was the longest in. And so it's interesting to me that they're leaning more into the sports vibe with the Royal Rumble, like how many eliminations this person's on, how long they've been in. It feels like you ever watch an Amazon Prime Video football. You have all the stats readily available. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of strange moments, man. There's strange moments in a very sloppy Rumble. Is there any other thoughts you had about CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman? Because I know I kind of detoured into the Royal Rumble itself.
The one thing I'll say is the crash out I was expecting, which based on where he got eliminated meant you couldn't do a crash out with Cena. Has Cena been eliminated in like maybe that spot there, right? Instead of Punk. I would have expected a massive crash out from Cena, right? Much bigger than what I would have expected from Punk, because this is Cena's that was his last shot. That was his last attempt, right? But where Cena got eliminated, who was he was eliminated by, it didn't really suit him to have a crash out.
Let's be fair, brother. John Cena, he's doing his John Cena, I'm John Cena wrestling in John Cena as an actor, John Cena type of thing, right? He's doing that again.
Yeah,
which is
did you see his press conference? His press conference was awesome. It's like, okay, if we're gonna get something like this, that's fascinating.
It leads me to believe that when you compound the way John Cena was behaving and John Cena's press conference promo, is that John Cena it's a performance, like it's all together, right? He was acting like as if he thought he would needed to be, right? He needed to be this super John Cena mascot. I'm returning. I'm the guy. I am happy. And it's interesting if you compound it with the way he's been performing, like you mentioned, right? The ham-fisted, the overacting.
It worked for me when they were on the apron, though. So that's one of the things I said in my review. Sorry to derail you. I pointed out the overacting when he was like facing off with Roman and Punk, goofy, right? He's just like, oh, now Rollins? Oh, no. Oh, por Dios. But then when he was doing the same level of overacting on the apron with Jey, I'm like, oh, this is working. The goofiness of him go, whoa, that worked for me.
So it tells me that John Cena was, in his mind, if I was trying to enter his acting mind, because he's a solid actor. He's a great actor if you watch Peacemaker. And he knows how to, bring emotion. So my thing he's telling me is that he's given us what we think we want in the Rumble. Like, that is the John Cena performance. When he cut that promo saying that he's done being that mascot and he's done trying to give us what we want and he's done trying to play ball and be the nice guy, so to speak, and he wants to be John Cena, who deserves a spot, literally claimed a spot at Chamber with no qualifier. That, to me, that we're going to get back into the real John Cena that we all saw in his runs.
You saw?
And in that promo that he did leading up to the Royal Rumble, we got a taste of that because he was goofy, overacting John Cena at the beginning, and then he shifts into John Cena. So I find it very interesting because there's two sides of John Cena. There's, I'm going to call it Clark Kent John Cena, bumbling, goofy, overacting. I'm the shell of himself. I'm the 2K John Cena. And then there's Superman John Cena that we're going to get to later. The serious, the well-demeanored, the guy who fires up. That's the John Cena that we're going to really, really enjoy. And so I'm really hoping that we get that. But this Rumble was cool because it had a lot of cool moments like that stare down that you mentioned of John Cena, Roman, and CM Punk. I wish it was just CM Punk and John, though. But, hey, why not give Roman
We might get it. Maybe they're the 1-2 that start at the Chamber. That'd be pretty sick.
Oh, there's no way they can go that long.
I mean,
Right?
dude, Cena went 32 minutes in that Rumble. He was I think he was the second longest in the Rumble after Penta.
Oh God, Penta.
Oh God, that Penta.
Jeez.
Look, what I would like, I loved the men's Rumble. Again, I'm not letting the winner dictate to me whether the Rumble was good or not. That's completely subjective. But I love the way that it was structured. I love the fact that the first 15 entrants were just like, hey, we know none of these guys are going to win, but we're going to put together some awesome in ring, right? We got you. We're sending you Penta. We're sending you Ray, Carmelo Hayes. Andrade looked great. My God, Santos Escobar looked amazing. Santos Escobar did more for me in that Rumble than he's done for himself that whole career, in my opinion, aside from the great heel turn that they never did anything with. But I love the fact that it was like, there was like 3 acts. The first act, athleticism. Sure, these guys aren't going to win, but they're going to put together an awesome show for you. Act 2, we're going to bring out the monsters that maybe could win, the Braun Breakers, the Jacob Fatus. We're going to give you Joe Hendry in here, the cool pop. We're going to bring out Aisho Speed to get murdered by Braun Breaker. Good God. And then they were monstrous and they were winning everyone over with their type of work. And then we got to Act 3, which was the heavy back end star power loaded, right? We're like, oh, somebody here is winning, right? This is where Cena, Roman, Punk, all of those big names came out. So I like the tiered system of the Rumble because it didn't feel like we were watching the same thing over and over again. I felt like we watched 3 matches in one, which I personally really like the structure of the Rumble.
That makes a good Rumble for sure. But you need athleticism, and the difference is the athleticism is singles guys versus a tag team. You know, like we talked about earlier. Motor City Machine Guns would have been in that first half. Which that would have been a bad thing, right? Motor City could have had some good moves in there. Gargano and Ciampa would have been fun. The Street Profits would have been a fun addition. But I still believe that they need to expand to 35 to 40 wrestlers. This men's Rumble needed NXT talent. This men's Rumble showed me that there's not a lot of youth in the men's division that are, except Braun Breaker, right? Braun Breaker and Dominic Mysterio are the only ones that have youth.
And I show speed.
Behind it, and I show speed, which he said he's going to come back and take out Mark Henry.
Dude, it was so funny, the list of people that he mentioned. He's like, it's like really recent guys, and then Mark Henry.
Mark Henry's like, what? What do you mean? What, me? That'd be great though if they capitalized on that flub. Anyway, I feel like that is the glaring thing of me, that the men's Rumble is very old, and that the star power is aging, and I think the WWE at least next Rumble should get some more NXT guys in there, because Mello, Dom, and our good old Aisho Speed and Braun Breaker are the only ones that are young. You could probably roll Jacob Fatu in there because he's kind of brand new, but
sure. I mean,
they're leaning a lot on Cena, Punk.
Let me play devil's advocate to that.
Sure.
We talked about this in the lead up to it. I felt like the women and the men's Rumble had very different narratives.
Sure.
The men's narrative, I think we can agree, is this is the most stacked Rumble of all time. I don't feel like NXT in this particular year, with this particular narrative going into the Rumble, fit. Unless maybe it's like Obafemi, one of those guys that's like, oh, that adds to like the stacked nature of it. But for the most part, when you look at the women from NXT that were added to the Women's Rumble, to me, the message was clear. We have the deepest bag of talent. That's and our future is set. Meanwhile, for the men, I really feel like they were very much focused on this is the now. Look how stacked we are right in this very moment. And as much as I would have loved a Nova Femi or a Trick Williams or literally like, dude, Ethan Page would have been cool out there because Joe Hendry was out there. They had a feud. I don't feel like they fit the narrative of this particular Rumble, just this one, the way that it was built up this year. But I thought it was cool that they had all of the women from NXT being out there. That was great. It fit what they were doing there. I just don't think that having all of those NXT guys in this Rumble would have been the same. Is all.
Yeah, I know. But there's always that argument, like, why have Speed take a spot? Why have Joe Hendry take a spot? You know?
Yeah. I get that, right?
It's a valid point.
It's. I feel like you have to play this fine balance, right? Like, yes, we can do like everyone that's active right now, the monsters and how stacked it is. But there would have been a slight hint of disappointment if we didn't have Rumble moments, right? Like surprises, things that are buzzworthy beyond just like the scope of us, me and you, and the Wrestling is Cool community. Like, oh, what the results were. Because if you look at like the most talked about thing from the Rumble, it's actually I Show Speed, 300 million views on just the spear alone. So you do have to play this fine balance. Like, what narrative are you running? But then you also have to, at the end of the day, be a Rumble, which is supposed to be an unpredictable thing. You have to sprinkle a little bit of that.
And it's not the worst Rumble entrance. Drew Carey was god-awful, okay?
Dude, Pat McAfee last year. Pat McAfee
was awful. He did the Drew Carey thing where he goes, nope, not me, I'm out, right?
Yeah.
Michael Cole, Booker T, Jerry King Lawler, they all took up spots one Rumble. It could get worse. I think that was 2014. Like, it could get a lot worse than it's ever been. I mean, the gobbledygooker, I'm sure at one point could have came out at one Rumble if they had to. The point is that Speed brought eyes, but what my initial point is that they need more spots, even if it's 35. I think 35 is a good number because you could get Oba, Trick, and then you could add Javon Evans, right?
Yeah, that would have been sick. That would have been sick. That's the future Rumble spot guy, the guy that avoids elimination.
Yeah. So like that, there's things that I feel that this Rumble for the men's side could have done a little bit better, but they excelled so much. I think the strangest thing for me is the women's mid card. I know we'll get to women's later, but the women's mid card was not shown great. Lyra Valkyria had a short run, and Ivy Nile got rid of her, which is, I guess, they're setting up that feud, which is fine.
And then Maxine got rid of Ivy.
I thought Lyra was going to go deep. I mean, I predicted her to be top 4, considering how well she's been booked, like in King and Queen of the Ring. But that did not translate. But when it comes to the men's side, I think Braun Breaker was shown very well. Braun Breaker was.
Ooh, man, that moment with Roman. Oh my God. Yeah. I tweeted out, I'm like, we just saw a sneak peek of a WrestleMania 42-43 main event. I love the way he got eliminated too, because he got the best of Roman. He just got outfoxed by Roman, right? He outspeared Roman, took him out, right? And then when Braun Breaker is like eliminated, like he's like unscathed. He's like, what the hell just happened? And then this was where I thought it was great camera work, because it pans to Roman and he's breathing heavy, like, what just hit me? Good God.
Help me remember. Roman Reigns was one of the last two. Was it Randy Orton? Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, where I think Roman was like beating Randy, and Randy like flipped him,
outfoxed him. I think that is how that went. Yeah.
Because I remember vividly so many times when Roman Reigns gets eliminated in the Rumble, where he's just like, what happened? Like, I just got tricked, because he's always like on the floor, exasperated with his hands and his head in his hands. So Braun Breaker looked amazing. Jacob Fatu looked great. Jacob Fatu is the king of the mid card. That was clearly displayed, because he came in there, destroyed everybody, had a lot of great stare downs. Poor Penta, dude. Like, I feel for Penta, because Penta definitely hit 2 feet on the ground. It was clear as day. And then I feel bad for the commentators, because I've been in that spot as a commentator, because one, they probably don't know everything, right? They know where Penta was going to go and how Penta was going to get out, probably, but they don't know the steps, because they want to be refreshed. So as a commentator, when something happens and you call for a replay because you didn't know that was going to happen, and I bet you they called for it, and then the air is like, we're not going to show you the replay.
I was fine that they let it play. It's like, if Penta was booked to win, then it would have been like, hey, we got what's going on? Wait. But it is
fair. He only got rid of Kaiser. Like, it was
Sure.
He's the only guy he got rid of. So it's like he didn't affect much of the Rumble. There was some cool spots. I saw Roman helping Penta. Like, that was a really fun.
Yeah, that was cool. The little tag team there, a little Mexican Samoan connection.
Yeah, I feel bad that Kaiser got eliminated 6 seconds. But if you wanted to look at it, they were setting up a feud between Penta,
They're doing something with
Kaiser,
it. They're doing something.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to think of like other moments and eliminations. I think Braun Breaker and Jacob is a problem. And Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu was a problem.
Okay, glad we agree there. What did we say from Saturday night's main event? I was like, if you miss Saturday night's main event, the thing you missed, the thing that is going to make it so that you're not caught up on TV was the rise, the flourishing, and the of Jacob Fatu and how he laid out Braun Strowman, and then this basically erased that. Like, it never happened. I don't bitch a lot when I didn't bitch a lot while watching the Rumble. That's the one place where I was like, this is stupid. Why is he even here? He should like sell this.
Yeah, and it's one of the big man spots that we always hate. You know, the big guy coming in and just having that +10 bump because he's in the Royal Rumble.
Shall we talk about the women's Rumble?
You know, huh?
I was ready to transition to the women's Rumble. You have something else?
I was thinking like, if is there anything else that I mean, the one-on-one, because I judge heavily Royal Rumbles on the one-on-one, like, and when it comes down to one-on-one, like, ooh, we're in. I think Sheamus versus Jericho was at the who was Sheamus going up against in 2012?
The final two was him and Jericho.
Yeah, it was him and Jericho. 07, Taker and Shawn, Ray and Randy when Ray won. Considering Triple H like took out Rey Mysterio, like Triple H dragged Rey Mysterio out, hit him against the stairs, and threw him back in the ring. I'm trying to think of other epic 1v1s that were really, really good. Gunther and Cody recently, which I haven't reviewed yet. But Jey and Cena, which was interesting to me because of the 5 moves of Doom versus the 5 moves of Yeet. Like, that was it. I think they were able to add some drama to it. And what was interesting to me is, like, you were in the camp of, dude, I want Cena to win. But I don't think there was this feeling of anyone but Jey. Does that make sense? Because that's when I feel like when it comes to one-on-ones, when Roman was in a one-on-one, when Roman was in a one-on-one with Big Show and Kane in 2015 in a 2v1 situation, it was still, please God, not Roman. It was still in that
people
fight.
Were hoping like, Rusev is somewhere under the ring, please.
Rusev was under the ring. And Rusev, Roman, when he saw Big Show and Kane fighting each other and leaning against the ropes, and everyone was just groaning when Roman came up to grab both of them. So my point is, there was none of that moment with Jey and John, right? There was none of like, oh my God, not Jey. Please God, don't have Jey win. And I think that's the good sign for Jey in that moment. And then when Jey wins, I don't think there was like a groan or a boo. Because when Roman won in 2015, boos rained down on him. Rusev comes out, and everyone's like, oh, and then boos came down again when Roman throws him out. And then The Rock comes out and gives him that hand salute, and more boos again. So that's like the crazy thing, how much we've come from 10 years, right?
Yeah, you're laying out the perfect example of why when people say this was the worst Rumble ever, brother,
right.
Have you been watching for 3 years? Maybe that's the case. I'm not roasting you if you've only been watching for 3 years. But if you've only been watching for 3 years, you don't get to call anything the worst of all time. you don't have that card yet. You haven't earned that yet. You haven't gone through knee deep of garbage to be able to say anything is the worst thing of all time. Because, brother, most of the Rumble of the 2010s, almost all of them were worse than this.
Like 2011, let's go down that path.
Alberto
Del Rio.
The nerve of people comparing this to Alberto Del Rio. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
You know what's crazy about the Alberto Del Rio thing is that it was Santino that saved that Rumble, that moment. Yeah. He created a fun bit of tension. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, Santino could win. But yeah, dude, it is interesting how Royal Rumbles are booked. Royal Rumbles, I've always said, are a vehicle to show all the times. If we're going to fast forward 10 years from now and we're going to look back at this Rumble, we'll go, oh my God, this is the Jey Uso Rumble. They were pushing Jey Uso, and you was saying, Daddy, what made Jey Uso so special? Well, son, he was being pushed. The crowd loved him. He had a great entrance. He was always getting screwed over, always the underdog, but he always pulled through. He was a tag team guy for 15 years with his twin brother, and everybody at the time got him confused for his twin brother. You could never tell the two apart. They could, no matter how much they excelled, they couldn't do anything. And then when they got to the pandemic, son, they had the Thunderdome, and his cousin Roman Reigns treated him like a dog and beat him down like a dog, abused his brothers like a dog. And for the longest time, Jey Uso couldn't get out of that shadow of his brother, the tribal chief. And man, son, in 2025, against the most stacked roster in the WWE, he beat the best of the best, the best of the world, and he beat John Cena to become the 2025 Royal Rumble. That's the story you're going to tell, brother. And that's what makes the Royal Rumble so cool. Because in a nutshell, that's Jey Uso's moment, and that cements his legacy.
Hey, let's not forget even Roman during that pandemic couldn't tell them apart. When he called Jey Jimmy, he's like, I'm Jey. Whatever.
Dog, I cannot wait to we review Thunderdome Bloodline, dude.
Oof.
Thunderdome Bloodline was cool stuff.
It was cool stuff. Let's talk about the Women's Rumble, though. I feel like we've exhausted the men's there. The Women's Rumble was, oh man, to me it was a tale of two halves. Let's start off by talking about like how we did with the Men's Rumble. Let's talk about the winner first. Charlotte Flair won the Women's Rumble, yes. And I felt like this sucked. For a couple of reasons. The main reason is that this was just, why telegraph this? They must have known already that Charlotte Flair winning the Rumble wasn't going to land that well with the crowd. So if you wanted to land well, you were better off making Charlotte Flair a surprise return, not telegraphing her, not pre-announcing her. But not only did you pre-announce her, when she comes out, she gets a WrestleMania entrance, for God's sake. She gets the pyro. She gets everything. And by the time that it was down to the final three, her, Roxanne, and Nia Jax, is like, I love Roxanne, but they're just not going to do this for Roxanne yet. It wouldn't make sense.
Who hasn't appeared on the roster yet?
Yeah, she's not officially even on the main roster. They're obviously going to go with Charlotte Flair. And we can talk about the big mass elimination spot that kind of put us in this position where it took a lot of the wind out of the Rumble because we lost a lot of the little micro feuds that could have been built and drama built based on each individual elimination. But Charlotte Flair winning to me is problematic, not because I don't want Charlotte Flair in one of the women's main events of WrestleMania, because good God, I do. You can vouch for me. I'm a huge Charlotte Flair supporter, massive Flair supporter.
Got a tattoo?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Nope, I do not.
Right here above the little hip bone. You know the part is it's a C and an F.
Yeah. But the thing is that Charlotte Flair just didn't need this, right? Who do you think is going to win the Women's Chamber? Just throw that name out there, whoever it is. Any name.
Bayley.
Okay, you picked the worst one. Anyone else? Literally, no. For this example, good God, you picked the worst one. For this example,
you told me to pick anyone.
Pick anybody else.
What do you mean the role model can't win? You want me to say Io Sky?
Io Sky. That's what you want? We'll go with Io. You don't know that. Liv Morgan, Io Sky. God damn it. Any name, Sancho. You picked the one name that didn't work for this analogy that I'm about to say. Let's say.
I'm not a mind reader. I'm sorry. It's like my wife goes, hey, what do you want for dinner? And I go, I don't know. What do you want? And I pick and I say, oh, I would take some burger. And she's like, that's not what I want. I'm sorry.
Okay. I figured we might be in a better wavelength than you saying Bayley, for God's sake. Anyways.
Said anyone. I'm sorry. You didn't say anyone that could. I said Bayley could win.
The point that I'm trying to make, Sancho, is
wait. Pause. Liv Morgan.
Okay, let's say it's Liv Morgan. Almost literally anybody. You picked the wrong one, though, with Bayley. Almost literally anybody. You should just swap that. Charlotte should win the Elimination Chamber, and whoever won the Chamber should have won the Rumble.
Bayley can't go back to back.
Nobody wants that. Again, that's why you picked the worst example.
She could have been Stone Cold. She could have been Hulk Hogan. She could have been Shawn Michaels. Baby.
The point I am trying to make here, Sancho, and good God, that would have been worse if Bayley won again. The point I am trying to make is that Charlotte didn't need to win the Rumble to get the spot that we all wanted her to get, which is a match against Tiffany Stratton. The joke that I make is that Charlotte Flair could have farted in the corner of my room and they would have given her a WrestleMania main event, because we don't need the major justification. We don't need her winning a Rumble for her to get that spot. We don't need, like, dude, the week before Mania, if Tiffy didn't have an opponent and Charlotte Flair went, I'm Charlotte Flair, you get me. Woo! I would have been like, okay, sick. We're getting the match that we want. But I feel like the Rumble was not a stamp of approval that Charlotte Flair needed, because she can just literally waltz into the position that we wanted her in, which is her versus Tiffany Stratton versus, again, any one of the women except Bayley. To win the Elimination Chamber would have benefited great.
Nikki Bella would have been a better point for me.
Why not? I think it would have been weirdly received better than Charlotte. It would have been received better than Charlotte. I feel like whoever won the Chamber should have just won the Royal Rumble.
Do you know the rest of the words?
You can look, but you can't touch. No, actually, I don't. That's all I know.
Something of the stars
above.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Oh God, I hit my mic. Is my mic still working?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Anyways, I don't like Charlotte Flair.
Why everyone hating on Nikki Bella, brother? You guys. This is the problem with the internet,
I love
the
Nikki.
dirt sheets and you reading into anything, dude. You're reading the tea leaves. You're trying to figure out. You're looking at it in the sky, trying to figure out tornadoes coming. You think AJ Lee's gonna come? Nah,
Idiots.
Nikki Bella, dude. I laughed so hard because I was like, I cannot wait to read the internet fever on this one because I was like, I like Nikki Bella, dude.
Bro, Natalia followed my Instagram because of my Nikki Bella reaction because I bursted out laughing. And one of the things that I said was, I love Nikki Bella, but I know that everyone is seething angry. I was happy for the return of Nikki Bella, but I just knew that this is going to piss off so many people. I will say what they should have done is still have Nikki Bella in the Rumble, swap Nikki Bella and Alexa, and everybody would have been cool with it. Agree? Don't you think? I feel like the Nikki Bella at 20 would have been like, hey, that's kind of cool. That's kind of sick. I feel like Nikki Bella at 30 brought down a lot of people because they were expecting a big surprise. They got a surprise, but not to the level of what they were wanting. But if Alexa came out at 30, that pop that she got, Alexa at 30, Nikki Bella at 20, or wherever it is that Alexa came out, that would have landed 21. So much better.
I think Alexa came out at 21.
Sure.
I agree with you. I think from what I heard, Alexa's was late signing. Was like a
bro. I feel like that was just them feeding the dirt sheets. I always tell people in my YouTube videos, don't read the dirt sheets this close to Rumble. The WWE is playing them.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that sentiment. Like, if you didn't know anything, saving her for 30 would have been cool. But then you would have said, who eliminated Nia? Who eliminated Nikki Bella?
Nia Jax, I think.
Jax. Yes. So I think the reason why they didn't do it that way is they wanted Alexa and Liv to have a feud. And in Royal Rumbles, traditionally the feuds are built in the middle of the Rumble or the very beginning, because that's when you could see someone gets eliminated by X person, and it's very there's a focus to it, right? Like when Ivy Nile gets rid of Lyra, you're like, oh, that's gonna be the feud because it happens early. Sucked that Lyra got eliminated, but those are the things you're talking about, even with Maxine Dupree and Ivy, that's going to be the feud. Jordan Grace and Julia, that's going to be the feud because Julia eliminated Jordan Grace, right? When things happen at the end, it needs to happen much more. It's too chaotic, and I think when Nia Jax eliminated everybody, that just messed up so much. That was the breaking point for me in that Royal Rumble. But to go back to Alexa Bliss, I think Alexa Bliss, if she would have got eliminated by Nia, that'd be more groanful than Liv. When Liv eliminated her, I was like, okay.
Liv was still out there by the time all came out, though. So you could have still done the Alexa and Liv moment.
Right. You could have. But Nia being out there messes everything up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But before we get into the Nia spot, I want to hear your thoughts on Charlotte winning. I never got it because you were so busy fantasizing about Bayley winning. Good God, what is wrong with you, Sancho?
I'm sorry, back to back.
This is why people say you're unwatchable. This is why people say you're unwatchable. Bayley winning. What are you doing? It's just so funny because you picked the one person that didn't work for my analogy.
Sorry, dude. Back to back, dude. Hogan, Stone Cold, Shawn, Bayley. Would have been awesome. Would have been awesome. You know what's interesting? Before I go to Charlotte, Rumbles don't have a lot of main eventers as time goes on because they're either fighting like Cody and Kevin, or they're somewhere else. They're injured or they're saving them for a chamber. So it's interesting that there's a reason why there's not a lot of back-to-back big timers, right? It's kind of fascinating to me that there's that short list of them at if you think about Royal Rumbles of all time, there's only those names. And Cody didn't win back-to-back, did he?
Yeah, he did. He's the only one to do back-to-back in a really, really long time. I don't feel like they need back-to-back winners. I mean, I guess it worked for Cody.
Why did Michael Cole say Cody Rhodes' name? Come on, Michael Cole.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think he said it.
Came out.
Yeah.
He did.
I think the only reason they work for Cody is because of the long-term storytelling that WWE had adopted with Roman Reigns and the bloodline and whatnot. But it traditionally just doesn't, it's not needed anymore like it was in the 90s with Stone Cold and Shawn and Hogan, because that was always an era of like the guy. Now we aren't in the guy era. We are in the era of this is so stacked.
Exactly. Okay, back to Charlotte. The reason why I'm intrigued by Charlotte is because it's a new Charlotte. I'm not too exposed to Charlotte in general. You know, I watch wrestling, but not to that point of where I saw Charlotte every week type of thing. When Charlotte was doing her thing, it was always seeing her in PLEs and pay-per-views. And the vignettes really sold me on this Charlotte the most. And I didn't mind Charlotte winning, and I think the reason why they had her be like shown is because they wanted her to they wanted to tell people that she's a different Charlotte. She didn't wrestle differently in that match, right? It wasn't like she's moving differently, she's acting differently. It was just Charlotte. So I think that's what you could get hung up on that in terms of her winning the Rumble. But I think they showed the vignettes because they didn't want to take away the pops and surprises of Alexa and Nikki and Jordan Grace, right? Because Charlotte would have been a big entrant, the surprise, right? Her pop would have been crazy too. But you're telling me that if it was, there's the difference of she was a surprise that you would have accepted it versus a non-surprise makes you not accept it. I don't know.
Accepted is not the word I said. I said I'm more willing to get behind it. Willing to get behind it. No, accepting is like I'm down. I'm more willing to get behind it because, like, if you were gonna do this super obvious choice, why not jazz it up a little bit? You know, dress it up with a little bit of salad dressing.
Santi, if I say come on board the train and you step on board the train, that's you accepting it or getting behind it?
Depends. Like if I have a foot in, you know, if I got my head out, it's like, oh man,
Are you on? Are you on or off?
I'm on because it's the only thing I got now. I'm on because it's the only thing I got.
Great. So that means you've accepted it.
Yeah, I'm in the acceptance portion now of all of the 5 stages of grief.
That means okay.
I went through
behind it now.
I went through the stages of grief, Sancho. I'm in the acceptance stage. I just don't think that we shouldn't had to go through any of the stages of grief. They could have picked anybody else to win that, and Charlotte could have still gotten exactly where she should go, which is her versus Tiffany. Because I don't want to see Charlotte versus Rhea again, but if they do it, I'm on board because we've had several of the men's iconic trilogies at WrestleMania. This would be the first iconic women's trilogy at WrestleMania, which I think it'd be cool for the women's history and lineage of WrestleMania to finally kind of like have that moment of the epic WrestleMania trilogy between megastars. But I want Tiffy. That's what I want.
I get that, and I understand that, but why is everyone hating so much on Charlotte and Charlotte Rhea 3? Like in general, I know you said you accept it, you'd be behind it.
Yeah,
but I'm excited for it. Like I want that because they actually put on banger matches, and it'd be a great 3-parter. And the way they kind of Monday Night Raw, she's like, well, you beat me, sure, but I beat you too. Like that to me is exciting to me. This is going to be the rubber match. This is going to be the one to end it all. And what a great place to end it here in WrestleMania 41. And for all the times people complain that Rhea's unbeatable. Who could beat Rhea? Charlotte is a very, very, very great contender. She is a contender to beat Rhea, and there's no question that she is probably the only one. She is the I'm trying to find a superhero type of vibe to it. But no. Tiffy and Charlotte, Tiffy has to go to the mountaintop. She has to rise to the level of the Titans to beat the goddess.
Isn't that exciting? Isn't that an exciting prospect, though?
Not for where Tiffy is at. I think
Tiffy is getting there.
Built up more.
Exactly.
Not
Rhea. The thing is that Rhea does
have to have a championship match at Chamber to build her up to be a foe for Charlotte.
Maybe. I think the argument here is that Look what happened to Rhea Ripley after the Charlotte WrestleMania matches. Look what happened to her. She's the biggest star in the company from the women's division. It's her and Bianca Belair, and I feel like at this point they have more of a shine and more of a love for Rhea Ripley when it comes to like how they're both booked. She doesn't need that anymore. Meanwhile, a Tiffany Stratton could greatly take major leaps forward to maybe get to a real level of superstardom with a Charlotte match. Now, here's the thing. Maybe that falls flat. Meanwhile, we know Rhea Charlotte. We know that's a known commodity. One of the things that I said in one of my live streams, it's like, imagine going to a buffet. You ate the one dish that's up there that was delicious. And then,
metaphor. Here we go.
And then you came back for it again. It's like, that's great. That's awesome. And then now you go up for the third time and it's still there, but then there's a brand new dish that looks good. One of two things can happen here. You could grab the same thing the third time and you're going to love it because you already liked it the first two times. Or you could try that new dish, but that new dish could be amazing or it could be garbage. You don't know. But it is taking a risk. And I do want WWE to take the risk. But again, I'll reiterate, if they go Rhea Charlotte again, I feel like complaining about that is moot because we know the first two were so good. Well, how can you complain about getting a third thing of the great thing? But I get it. You want to see what door number two, what's behind that other door and what that looks like. And I'm on that camp. I want to see Charlotte versus Tiffy.
Can I say something? Is this a safe place?
I don't know, Sancho. Last time this was a safe place. Last time this was a safe place, you got roasted by the commentators.
I'm already going to get roasted for the Undertaker thing in Roman. So, I'm unkillable. Anyway, what if the WWE says Jey Uso and Gunther is not the main event and Rhea versus Charlotte is the main event of night one?
I think, honestly, Rhea versus Charlotte, Mania 39, I felt like they were kind of robbed of the main event spot. This could be a good way to make it up. It's been a long time since we've had a women's main event. Pretty long time. That is a match of star power that's got main event material absolutely written all over it. And again, I love the idea of having that iconic women's trilogy of WrestleMania. We don't have that. But I think what's happening right now, Sancho, is I'm filling myself with what I'm seeing as opposed to what I know is good. Seeing and wondering what Tiffy versus Charlotte can be is really fascinating. Really something I want to see.
There's plenty of time for that though, brother. There's plenty of time. Tiffy's young.
So is Rhea. Rhea's not even is 28. They're both really young. It's crazy to think how young Rhea Ripley is. It really is. So the
women's division is young. Yeah.
The women's division is young, and it was definitely demonstrated in that Rumble. Either way, look, I think it's a spoil of riches with what Charlotte Flair can go, whichever direction. Yep. And I know that she teased Julia, which by the way, that would be sick too, in my opinion. And I hope that isn't the case because I firmly believe that NXT's women's division should main event Stand and Deliver this year. I don't feel like we should. It'd be cool if they were at WrestleMania, but I feel like they should main event Stand and Deliver. It's cool that Charlotte's even teasing that. And even though it sounds like a far-fetched option, it sounded far-fetched when she picked the NXT champion at WrestleMania at Royal Rumble 2020. So it's on brand for Charlotte, that's for sure. So that's kind of cool that she's kind of sort of be doing like a victory tour across all of the different brands. I think it's a spoil of riches for whoever Charlotte Flair picks. I have a preference, but I don't feel like we can go wrong with any of the choices.
No. I think what the biggest thing is that the wrestling community, not necessarily let Papa H cook as well, as could be a theme of the episode, but just like be chill with anyone who wants the other match because they're both great matches, honestly. I think your analogy is correct. It's a bigger risk with WWE. I don't think in general businesses and media are down for risk these days. Look at gaming, right? Quickly, gaming's banking on nostalgia, right now. They're all going back into the OG days. And I think that the WWE, yes, they're raking in money, but they rather have a surefire bet in their main event. And considering that they might be taking a risk with Jey Uso, you're going to have a surefire bet somewhere. And that is going to be Rhea in Charlotte.
Yeah, like I said, I'm down. I'm down. It's just there's another option that seems a little bit more appealing in the moment, but it may.
Yep.
I doubt it's an option we would regret, but the risk is there. It is.
Can we talk about quickly, because I'm running out of time here because I got a call time in the morning. Can we talk about how awesome Jordynne Grace was? Oh my God,
Dude, she looked like $1 million bucks.
Grace.
Yeah.
She looked amazing.
The only thing I didn't like about Jordynne Grace was her getting eliminated by Julia, because to me that's like, oh, is she going to NXT?
Yeah,
because
she's going to NXT.
She look, would they benefit from Jordynne Grace? Duh. Anyone would. But out of the 3 brands WWE has, NXT is the only one that doesn't need Jordynne Grace.
I know,
They're literally the only one that doesn't need Jordynne Grace. Raw and SmackDown need a Jordynne Grace. NXT doesn't.
I would have loved an Ivy Nile elimination there. I would have loved Chelsea Green, like someone just to get that going, because Jordynne Grace is a main roster talent instantly. Like, just look how she appeared and her pop that she got when she, Piper hit her, and then she did the taps on the mat, and she just stood up and just Death Valley drivered her like nothing, dude.
Bro, it was awesome.
It was awesome, but what a bizarre moment, I would say, of the entire night is Bianca Belair snatching her hair, dude. That was weird.
Yeah.
That was a heel move. Like, there's better ways to doing that, like tapping her shoulder or like pushing them apart and going, what's up with this? But like grabbing her hair, that was like aggressive. And I was like, wait a minute. Bianca, like, chill, dude. They're just former friends. Why are you tripping? That's how I really felt throughout the entire moment. But I thought Jordynne Grace was great. I thought Chelsea Green was fun. I thought Chelsea Green's Santino spot was really cool, where she thought she threw out everybody and celebrating. I mean, she didn't do the trumpet like Santino did when he thought he eliminated everybody. But it's interesting that Chelsea Green being booked like Santino, if you really think about it. Fastest elimination, thinking she got the Santino spot. Very interesting. I bet you one Rumble she's going to get that one where she's going to come out at the very end.
That'd be fun.
Because we all thought she was going to get that. Remember last year? We thought, like, when she went kind of deep, we're like, oh my God, Chelsea's going to be able to do something. But a lot of pops for Chelsea. I think it shows you that Chelsea is loved. What else is it that I enjoyed for that Rumble? I just feel that the Stephanie Vacker, the Julia one, just all got washed up in that. Let's talk about that multi-woman elim.
Yeah.
They all got washed out right there for me, man, for those ladies. When they got to that back half, and I'm like, okay, cool, we're going to get some stare downs and stuff, but it just felt muddy, sloppy.
I agree. I've already labeled this the worst spot in women's Rumble history. I can't think of a worse one. Because
the Big Show spot.
Yeah, like I don't mind Nia Jax looking strong. Like, that's literally her job. She's the monster of the Rumble. If Nia Jax had have eliminated all of them individually, I would have been like, that's bold, but okay. Okay, sure, let's do it. But this one fell swoop elimination removed so much potential drama that they could have built with the Rumble. So many micro feuds that could have been told, so many stories, all for the sake of what? A big shock and awe moment to say Nia Jax is the scary one of the Rumble. We already knew that. That's what she's already booked as. What's funny too, Sancho, is that they clearly are padding her stats here, because if you go back to that moment, Raquel falls off on her own and then she pulls off Bianca Belair. But when you look at the stat sheet, they were both listed as eliminated by Nia Jax, which neither of them were. So that the spot was there clearly for a big Nia Jax moment. But eliminating, like, for example, like Liv Morgan was eliminated because of the Nia Jax moment. Stephanie Vacker. We had Io. We had Bianca and Naomi getting eliminated there. I mean, just Bianca, Naomi, and Io alone, right? Those are 3 people that you could tell really fascinating stories with. Like, what if Bianca and Naomi eliminate each other? Or what if, because of a miscommunication between the two, Io eliminates both of them, and now we've got a cool story going in the SmackDown between Bianca and Naomi. But now there's nothing that you could tell, right? Nothing was developed because of the way that this elimination was done, and it completely sucked the air out of that Rumble.
It tells me that they already know what they're doing with the women going forward. Like, they're booking this set.
Sure. Okay.
Like, they didn't need to launch pad anything from this point on, because they already knew what they were going to do. Whereas the men, they needed that bump to launch pad what they're going to do, because now we know Seth Rollins and Roman's definitely going to be a thing. They shot that cinematically as if these two brothers, for the longest time. I mean, I've been seeing some sick fan edits where they put like all the past promos alongside with that one shot of Seth in the foreground, then it focuses back to Roman in the background. Like, that's the kind of stuff I think like we're solidifying that. CM Punk and Logan could be a thing for a little bit. I don't know. Definitely that feud is going to continue into the Chamber. CM Punk is going in the Chamber. We just saw that on Monday Night Raw. When probably his best match that he had in a long time. That is not a gimmick match. It's just straight up one-on-one match. Sammy versus CM Punk was great. Logan Paul's definitely going to go in the Chamber. He's going to beat Ray. He's going to beat Ray to go in the Chamber. So we're going to get those two in it. And Cena's already in there. But for the women, I feel they had everything pat. Like, we already know what we're going to do. We're going to use the Chamber to build feuds, not the Royal Rumble. We're going to pad Nia's stats because she's going to be the most dominant woman of all time going into future Rumbles. She's the Kane of the division, where Kane always had the longest time, most Rumbles in eliminations, and then Roman Reigns now is the guy that has the most eliminations. Roman eliminated a lot of people when he went out there today, when he was in the Rumble. I just feel like you hit it with the, that's the word. I hate when Royal Rumbles do that. When Kane and Big Show eliminated Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, who else did they eliminate?
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt. Oh, Bray Wyatt was the worst. Bray Wyatt, Wade Barrett, right? They eliminated all those guys that were all favorites. And what for? Nothing, right? And that's the way you feel with Nia. They were all eliminated for nothing. They already hate Nia. It's like all these women already have problems with Nia, so it doesn't amplify anything. It was like it was supposed to be a cool spot, and it just wasn't executed that well. But beyond that, the Women's Royal Rumble, I felt was kind of cool to show like how fun Maxine Dupree could be. I think that was cool. That was a fun little moment that she gets. I feel like Maxine always gets one at every Royal Rumble, and the crowd loves her. And to see how Maxine could barely do a suplex, now doing a fisherman suplex pretty clean, is pretty awesome. I'm trying to think of other moments that stood out to me in the Women's Royal Rumble. I mean, we already talked about Jordynne Grace was kind of fun. No, I think the Women's Royal Rumble just fell into the trap of the monster.
Yeah,
that's always the worst thing to do.
And it was so good until it wasn't. That's my overall takeaway of the Women's Rumble.
The Final Four wasn't good either. Like, there was no drama, like you said, because Charlotte's gonna win.
Of course,
if you had Bianca there, you would go, okay. Maybe
Bianca, Io in there, Liv. That would have been crazy.
Or Julia.
Sure. You could even, instead of Liv, keep Roxanne Perez in there. That would have been cool. But it was just the victory was telegraphed too early after that Nia Jax spot. It really, really did suck. Sancho, before we move on here, I want to do a quick time check with you. How much time you got with us?
15. I have to leave at 10:15.
Okay, we got about 10, 15 minutes. Let's quickly talk about Cody Kevin, that ladder match.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, bro. That was one of my favorite ladder matches of all time. I love that ladder match. I'll quickly talk about why I loved it. I loved that this felt like a fight instead of a ladder match. This felt like a fight that happened to have ladders as opposed to a ladder match, because they didn't use the verticality of the ladders that you would expect out of a traditional ladder match. These guys would like rip parts out of the ladder to beat each other with. These guys would try and backdrop each other over the ladders. This felt like, okay, so what I wanted for Cody versus Kevin was for this to be a gruesome fight. And I just didn't think that WWE had the balls to do it. What I wanted was a CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre level fight. And I was like, they're never going to put Cody Rhodes through that. And then they did. And I thought it was brilliant. I love that match. That final spot, Alabama Slam, that was basically head first through the ladder. And I also love the demeanor of Cody, just literally walking up, no drama, no like, oh, I can't reach it, I'm so tired. No, just walking up and grabbing the titles. I love that.
Did they do that spot with Dean Ambrose? Remember that spot we saw in Match Club where it was like the worst ladder spot?
Oh, that
Dean
was
Ambrose just folded.
Yeah, that was it was a backdrop from the ring to the outside by Luke Harper. It was the Luke Harper spot. Yeah.
And we were like, dude, Dean Ambrose is dead.
Yeah, man, he folded.
Yeah, he folded. It kind of reminded me of that moment when he folded and when Kevin did that. I did predict that Cody would go into a dark place and Kevin would take him to the brink, and that Cody would lose a piece of himself in that. And that's what they wanted. It's the same thing that they wanted with AJ Styles. Shout out to AJ Styles. We didn't talk about it in the Men's Rumble. Getting his old thing back. Yes.
Thank God.
Yes, brother. Please do that to Judgment Day. Please. Poor Finn Balor in the men's. Oh, God. I felt bad when Seth Rollins goes, and I'm gonna go up against my old pal Finn Balor from Timber.
It's over. Seth, just put Seth in.
Oh God, I feel sorry for Finn. Go to TNA for a little bit, come back up. Anyway, yeah, dude, Cody versus Kevin was you nailed it. It was we always see. I was expecting the Cody Cutter, like the Sammy Guerrero match with AEW. I was expecting the Stunner or something like that, something death-defying,
something with verticality.
Like yeah, something like that. But it did not do that. They were just throwing each other into ladders. Probably the most brutal ladder match that we've seen that we enjoy in Match Club, because we have a lot of ladder matches on Match Club. If you're a fan of ladder matches, definitely come on by the Match Club, because we got like 20 of them. We could watch.
They get voted up all the time.
From all promotions. We even saw El Generico and Kevin Steen
one. Ooh, that was nasty. The ladder warfare, yeah.
It was a nasty one. The one I wanted to point out was probably Taker versus Jeff Hardy, where it was the same thing. It was Taker's not going to do anything verticality wise on that ladder, but he brutally beat Jeff Hardy with that ladder as a weapon. And the difference was in that one was that Jeff Hardy just kept fighting back, right? He was the baby face in that one. Both were faces. But with Kevin and Cody, they were just like, we're just going to throw each other in these ladders and just use them as a landing pad for everything that we're going to do. I think the power bomb, the fisherman suplex.
Oh, that was awesome.
You could never superplex.
Never superplex Kevin Owens.
Could never do it. I was yelling at Cody. No. But that spot was nasty too. I kind of liked that it was all business. It felt like in that one, you know, there was all business, and Cody was there on a mission, and Kevin Owens was there on a mission. I wish Sami Zayn was involved a little bit more, and I think that's what they're doing that on purpose, because Kevin Owens is gonna be like, brother, you just stood there while this man was beating me to an inch of my life, and you did nothing to help me. Not even like, sure, you're trying to win. I'm trying to win, and you didn't want to help me there, but at least try to save my life. It's like I'm dying here, and at least defend my honor, because Cody Rhodes was literally L dancing on top of Kevin Owens the entire time with the belts. And I do believe Fortnite and WWE are going to do something, by the way. There's too much Fortnite promotion on the WWE anyway, because they've sponsored the Men's Rumble. Did you know that?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, the lower third. Pay attention a little bit.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You and your buffet analogies.
Buddy, you and your Bailey to WrestleMania. Shut up.
You told me pick somebody. Anybody.
Why'd you pick the worst one?
I'm sorry. There was not a qualifier that had to be good. But what I wanted to say, yes, I think Kevin and Cody was great. Randy would have made it better, perhaps? Maybe Randy's going to tell Cody again, like, dude, you're not the same guy. What's going on? He's going to be the voice of reason. Remember last time Randy was the voice of reason in that feud to Kevin? What happened to Randy?
He died.
He got a box driver for sticking his nose in the business. So I wonder how Cody is going to respond to Randy saying, like, dude, what's up, brother? Because, like, Sammy now is going to deal with Kevin Owens. I don't think you said Randy and Kevin Owens could be a thing. That all depends if Kevin Owens continues to go after Cody. This could be the setup for Randy and Cody if Cody does not see the side of reason that Randy Orton presents. And we always say as well that WWE likes to tease storylines and different storylines where they let's experiment here and see what does the audience do if we have Randy be the voice of reason to Kevin Owens. Oh, they didn't like that Kevin Owens obliterate them. So why don't we do it with Cody? Let's see how the audience reacts if Randy's the voice of reason with Cody. And remember, we're all forgetting, and a lot of people are forgetting this, that they all think Randy Orton is a great babyface, but there were times when he's talking to Cody and he's just eyeing that belt.
That's inevitable. That's inevitable for sure.
Right. So my question to you, Santi, is: are they going to pull the trigger here? Because if CM Punk and Cena and Roman and Seth are all in their own nebulous, the only outlier is Cena. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, they're in their own thing now. Would that leave Cena up for grabs with Cody? Why not make it Cody, Cena, Randy?
I think the only reason why that I can't logically get to that conclusion is because somewhere along the way we have to stop at Randy Kevin. When Randy comes back, it has to be Randy Kevin first because that's who took him out.
The pile driver.
Right? That has to be first. And since Randy hasn't come back yet, I could see him coming back if the match is Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. And maybe if Randy makes him at Chamber, let's say they do that at Chamber because it's in Canada, to Canadian boys, that would be pretty hyped to do it there.
I like that.
If Randy interferes there, then I just don't think we have enough time to take care of Randy and Kevin and then move on to Randy versus Cody. I feel like we're kind of constrained for time here, just knowing that the first thing Randy has to do is Kevin Owens. I feel like everyone kind of agrees with that. It has to be Randy Kevin first before we can graduate to Randy versus Cody. So it all depends. I just don't think that the timelines align, unfortunately.
And that's the thing that I'm hung up on is like, I want to see Randy versus Cody more than anything. And I'm running out of time because of John Cena. That's what that throws a wrench in a lot of things. You know, we have to put a lot of things on pause for John Cena's run, right?
Seems like a very passive aggressive way that you wish John Cena wasn't here. You trying to say something? You trying to say something, pal? This is like the seventh time you've said John Cena's such a wrench. Oh, John Cena really throws it. If Cena wasn't here, brother, all right. You know what? Fool me once, shame on me. Or shame on you. Fool me twice, you're never gonna fool me again. This is the seventh time I've now realized you've been saying that Cena is a wrench. I'm catching on to your shenanigans.
No, there you go. Spin the belt. No, dude, no, brother. I didn't say that. I said this is like a Rock situation, but done in a very John Cena way. Am I wrong? How dare the audacity that John Cena could say, "Yeah, give me a spot at the Chamber," and that's not a heel move.
I never said it wasn't, but it to you it's a wrench, and you'd be better off without Cena there.
Why couldn't our boy John Cena have a match with somebody to qualify?
Because he told you. He straight up told you. Because he's the franchise.
I get it. But brother, why couldn't he have a match with, say, I don't know, a Mid-Carter, a
Finn Balor? Finn Balor. It's like he's gonna lose anyway. Why not? Yeah. At least that'd be kind of cool.
But why not give a rub to somebody that like a Finn Balor or no, like a Mello, like I said initially, Mello versus John Cena to qualify. You go, oh, Mello's gonna lose, but at least he's gonna have some in-ring time with John Cena. But no, your little selfish John Cena.
There it is. It's coming out now.
And went to Hollywood.
It's coming out now.
Over there, and he goes, "Oh, I lost my last Royal Rumble. Boo-hoo! I lost my last Royal Rumble, and I look back, and I'm here to say that I'm gonna qualify. Well, I'm gonna claim my spot in the Chamber." And no one goes, that's unfair.
I knew it. I knew this was all mass John Cena hate from you. I knew it. I knew it from the beginning. I knew it by the seventh time.
I cannot stand your glaze that you have when we watch up a match club. It is unnerving glaze.
John Cena will be in like an ankle lock, and I'm like, man, Cena is really selling that. He's so good. Come to Match Club. I know you don't have a lot of time, so maybe let's power through these last couple of things. AJ to SmackDown. You said you were bummed. I said I was excited. Why are you bummed?
AJ to Raw.
Sorry, to Raw. Yeah. It's AJ to Raw.
Because SmackDown needs AJ the most. Like, the mid-cards is struggling over there, man. Like, LA Knight, poor LA Knight. LA Knight on his own island, all by himself.
Almost tripped.
He needs that help. Yeah. He's like a little Scooby-Doo character. It's interesting. LA Knight eliminated Damian Priest after teaming up with Damian Priest. That's a interesting little.
That's true. Yeah. See, it's interesting. I think the mid card is fascinating on SmackDown because one of the things that I've been saying in my videos is that like the mid card on SmackDown is actually kind of stacked because you've got Mello, you got Jimmy, you got Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, you've got Damian Priest. You could basically put into that category. LA Knight. The problem is that it's stacked without the champion feeling important. That's the problem with the mid card right now.
Dude, did you forget Nakamura was in the Rumble?
I basically did. The mid card is strong on SmackDown in the absence of a strongly booked champion. So take the title off of Nakamura as far as I'm concerned at this point.
But AJ Styles SmackDown is the house he built, bro.
It is the house he built, but I think it's time for. I think it's time for a new. It's time for a new scenery. You know, AJ versus Braun Breaker, AJ versus Logan Paul, maybe. They kind of teased that at Rumble as well.
Oh, dude, that was a slimy way to get rid of AJ, right? A little third party by Logan Paul.
He third partied. He third party.
A lot of battle royale experience from Logan, probably playing Fortnite. I just let's just say this. I wish that he had one last match on SmackDown, then he went to Raw. You know,
Okay.
Give him
All
a
right.
nice little send off, nice little thank you.
We have a WWE Evolve getting announced as a fourth brand of WWE. It's interesting because
how much wrestling we're gonna watch.
yeah, it's interesting because it now to me signals that NXT is a third brand. That there isn't that NXT is not developmental. That's what Evolve is now. That's what they pitched it as in that commercial, that the next up and coming rising talent of the WWE will be on Evolve. And it's funny because that commercial gave me vibes of really early NXT. Like when it was like Neville and Bo Dallas and Sami Zayn down there. When like that commercial gave me vibes of that. I think it's cool that they're using the Evolve
vibes, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they're using the Evolve brand. For those that don't know, Evolve was an indie promotion. People like Gunther were there. People like Austin Theory were the Evolve champion.
We had a match club with Ego Page.
Yep. Ethan Page versus Drew McIntyre were on Evolve
in a high school gym.
In a high school gym. There's some cool things out of the Evolve library. But now with NXT having the talent pool that it has, like to call NXT developmental when you literally maybe have two of the greatest women's wrestlers on the planet down there with Stephanie Vaquer and Julia is kind of nuts. When you have somebody as experienced as Ethan Page down there, it's kind of nuts to think of it like a developmental. I think it is more of a main. It is a main brand B. You know, I think SmackDown Raw A. NXT B, but then now Evolve, that's developmental. And I feel like this is a cool stamp of approval for how much NXT has advanced over the last couple of years since its dismantling of Black and Gold and into the Rainbow era, into what we evolved into with what we have today, with the combination of incredibly talented 20-something-year-olds paired with the veterans of the independents that are incredibly good, like the Sean Spears, the Ethan Pages, Julius, Stephanie Vaquer, Delta, these big high-profile names to mix alongside the WWE molded young talent. I think it's a third brand. Plus the TV deal, it's doing bigger numbers than Dynamite now. On cable, at least, they never released the max numbers. I don't know what that looks like. Not that I really care about ratings, but like just, NXT is a major brand. It's a major focus for WWE, and the release of Evolve, to me, that's what it signals.
One thing I want to point out as well is that if there was always rumors that main roster talent did not want to work in NXT because they saw it as a downgrade, as a demotion. And if they used Evolved as those indie grounds or developing grounds, then NXT wouldn't be seen that way anymore, which it shouldn't be anyway, because they always have big moments. And if you definitely, I think what it is, it's like the WWE is justifying as well that if they move a main roster down to NXT, then you could still pay that main roster person that money. Because I think that's where a lot of people lost their contracts because, well, we can't use it in NXT because your main roster money, right? Yeah. So if they make it the third brand, then it could be considered the main roster.
Yep. No, I think we're on the same page there. I
think it's exciting as a content creator, though, because we have the ability to push somebody in a way like, hey, guys, check out this new indie wrestler. Really, really solid. Like, if we would post a clip from them in a way, I'm saying like just us, but all of us as a collective, we watch it and go, oh, my God, this moment happened. And we gave some eyes to it because it's on Tubi, right? That's going to be a really tough.
I wonder if it'll be on Netflix internationally because we get everything.
That'd be interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. So if we go like, hey, check this out, we post it, then it's like it's a good for the ecosystem. You know what I mean? We get the views, they get the impressions, and then all of a sudden, this wrestler who needs some eyes, it's a really cool fostering relationship to it all. Because clearly the WWE still enjoys reactions. I mean, reactions are still being used unofficially. They got the Royal Rumble out there, and they got the content creators reaction. So it's interesting enough how that relationship continues on unofficially, and I think that where that relationship will continue the best or the most impact would be Evolved.
I think that's a really, really good point. I might look into doing some Evolve reactions, not live. Maybe I'll do them post show or something like that.
Like watch them on your own or go back and then post them later. I
Maybe
think people would appreciate it.
Yeah. I think that's New Day, new theme. Finally, they're doing something with New Day. Finally. Were they really stalled waiting for Dragon Lee? That's kind of what it felt like. Okay, Dragon Lee's back. He's back from paternity leave. Now we can take step one with the New Day. Was that really what was halting the New Day?
It could be. It'd be a shame if they would. I wish it wasn't. But I think the Royal Rumble was the biggest thing. It was a shame not to get the New Day in Royal Rumble as well. That was a kind of a
that would have been fun. It would have been
a weird.
Everybody ganging up on them like they last 3 seconds because everyone hates them.
Yeah, and Logan did Logan got that spot where everyone beat up Logan at that moment too. Yeah, it's just a weird thing that they weren't in the Rumble. I'm glad that they have a new package. It's a Mortal Kombat type of theme. If you really look at the Titantron, they had Mortal Kombat silhouettes with the white eyes. Yeah. And if you go back to listen to it, it's sounds like there's like Mortal Kombat samples.
Yeah. Quick question. I don't know if you know off the top of your head, because I know he's worked with Xavier Woods before. Was that Mega Ran or not?
Mega Ran said he worked on it and he's featured on it, but I couldn't hear it. The mix from my complaint is that WWE's mix sometimes could be off, because when Judgment Day first debuted, their theme was so off I couldn't really hear it. And it's the same with this one. Granted, I'm in this luxurious penthouse hotel room up in the heights, and I'm watching on my laptop, so I really couldn't hear it, but I liked it, and I think I'm just happy that they're going somewhere, and I like that they used Logan to protect Ray and protect Dragon Lee and protect the New Day from losing, because that's a L right there for New Day, losing to Ray and DragonLee.
Would have been bad. It would have been over, man, in my opinion. I would have, I would have liked, what I would have geeked about if Logan, helps New Day win, but even then he's just like, no, we're not cool. That was too far what you did. That would have been funny if Logan even is one of the ones that would have been awesome.
If he big brothered, what was it? He did it to Grayson Waller and A-Town. And Grayson Waller and A-Town weren't in the Rumble.
They weren't in the Rumble. No tag teams. Funny enough, it was Otis, and then they were about to bring out Tozawa, and then we had the moment with I Show Speed.
The World Cup.
Dude, that song is so bad. It's so bad.
But it's in the Rumble.
It's in the Rumble. It's official canon. Both that and it's Everyday Bro, our WWE canon, which is hilarious.
I was waiting for the C. I was like, oh, hit it. And
he hit it. I think, Sancho, we can wrap it up there. I know you got to get going. I'm happy to let you go, and I can do the Patreon stuff. We'll have to put a pin on New Day New Heat order.
New Heat order. Jey Uso number 1.
Okay. Yes, Jey Uso number 1.
Number 2, CM Punk.
CM Punk. Sure, give me CM Punk.
CM Punk. Number 3, Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair. Even though people don't like it, Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair. 4, John Cena.
You read my mind, John Cena.
Okay, John Cena.
Number 5, I would go 5, 6, Cody Kevin.
Yeah, I like Cody. Kevin. Number 7, Sammy or Drew. Or Drew's kind of pissed.
Drew is the wrong type of conversation that's happening.
Right, correct. Okay, number 7, Sammy.
Yeah. Number 8, Roxanne Perez.
Roxy went the Iron Woman.
Yeah.
Iron Woman I like that. We don't know what she's going to do at NXT. Number 9.
Profits.
Boo!
Really?
Boo! No one cared about that match. I tried to tell you. I was going, no! And I was like, oh, it's going to be like NXT TakeOver, brother.
No, the match was good. I stand by that. That crowd did not care, though. You aren't wrong. That crowd did not care.
No, that crowd, dude. Indy, I love you. You guys were being pushed to the moon. You were glazed by Pat McAfee and your little video packages, but y'all fell short.
Yeah, better than France. That's what Pat McAfee was saying. You are insane.
Nah. Your SmackDown was terrible, and you did not show up for DIY. Number 9, brother. Here's the list so far. Number 9.
Well, we could talk about it. Bro, I feel he should be higher. I Show Speed. The talked about what this is about. I feel like I Show Speed might be 2. I feel like I Show Speed might be 2.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
This is for the week, most buzzworthy, most talked about.
Not the best wrestlers.
Not the best wrestlers.
Okay, so we have 10. Who's 10 then?
Penta? Penta, honestly, I'm between Penta or Jordan Grace.
Oh. I'm going to put Jordan Grace because I feel like Penta's 2 feet on the outside, even though it's hard to put that against him, really messed him up a little bit.
Sure.
And he was gassed, dude. He was gassed.
40 minutes, though, man. That's tough.
It was tough. There was tough lucha. I think what hurt Penta is the way he got eliminated.
Who eliminated him? I don't even remember.
Who was it? Jacob Fatu?
I don't remember. I really don't remember.
No love for Joe Hendry in the top 10.
No. If it was last year's Rumble when the height of the meme was a thing, then yeah, I'd say. And Joe Hendry was there for 3 minutes.
I know, and he had that one moment with what's his face, Roman, which was kind of cool, but he got speared.
He got owned. He was there for 3 minutes. All right, is that
someone in the comments down below? Tell us who Penta got eliminated by. Here's your new heat order. I gotta run. I'm gonna let him late. Jey Uso 1, 2, Speed 3, CM Punk. Ignore the numbers. 4, Charlotte Flair. 5, John Cena. Number 6, Cody Rhodes. Number 7, Kevin Owens. Number 8, Sami Zayn. Number 9, Roxanne Perez. Number 10, Jordan Grace, brother. That's my time. You're going to take the names.
Sancho, you can get going if you want. I'll go into full screen mode.
Oh, full screen mode.
Yeah, I'll take it over.
Hey, man, you're awesome. Just want to let you know you're awesome. And I appreciate your strength during these times, brother. I really do.
Appreciate that, man.
I don't want to. I appreciate you, man. You know.
Thank you, Sancho. I appreciate it. You have fun. Enjoy the show, man.
All right, brother.
Cheers. All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. A little bit abrupt there at the end. Sancho has had a hard stop, so we couldn't go overtime, and it was Rumble, post Rumble, so we had a lot to talk about there. But that being said, don't forget that you could be listening to this episode 3 days earlier over on Patreon. And on Patreon, the $5 tier, which is our lowest tier, gets you every ounce of content that we produce. We do have a higher tier, the $15 tier. Those are our producers. They get access to the Patreon. They get access to the Discord. They get our monthly movie net, which we had to postpone. It's not going to be this Friday. They're going to be able to submit hot takes for a Patreon exclusive hot takes video that we're working on. And they also get their names read out here as a credit producer on the show. So big shout outs go out to Sancho for president. First Patreon I Crazy Dude says Speed's youngest entry. Aaron Garcia, Abel Rodriguez, Ab Snake, Adam Pacina, Aiden, Akai is gone, Alex Regal, Alex, All Egos, All Fine Ass. What is that name? American Nightmare, Cody Lander, Amory Skark, Scary, Anita Maxwin, Antony, Arrogance, Ashley, Asperlitz, Aussie Kingslayer, Authentic Chocolate, Aiden Sean, Bailey Saunders, Beckham Dragonov, Ben Farton, Barry, B Hostile, Big Shy, Blast Plast, Bluebot, Brad, Brady Burdick, Brady Keaton, Brady McGlynn, Brandon Jamlin, Brian Ibarra, Bryce Burt, Caleb Lee, Caleb Williams, Callis Cavan, Cameron Noel, Cameron Talks WWE, Carlos Gonzalez, CB, Chargers and Cowboys Suck Ass, Bills Better, Chase Chupapi, Chimchars Collectibles, Chris Butner Lucas, Chris Eric Clark, Christian G, Christopher, CM Puff, CM Drunk, Colin O'Malley, Colin Roach, Conductor of the Penta Train, Connor Williamson, Cool Whip Tim, Dallas Mavericks GM. Yo, I can't believe Luke is on the Lakers now for a bag of chips too. Dalton Dunbar, Dark Flame, Derek Bernhardt, Devin, Dixon Mayaz, the OG one. We got the entire Mayaz family here. Dom should win everything. Dom's dirty tendies. Drake Hughley, Drew Baumgarn, Dumsky, Dylan Kana, El Jochi, El McNeese, Immigrant Bow, Emmanuel Holmes, Aaron Thorne, Isach, The Watchable with Bushido, unlike Sancho, Fletcher Walpole, Floating, Forever Wrestling, Franklin L. Everett, Gamerscape, George Valdez, Gilbert Deans, Goofy Goobers, Grayson Swan, GXA Man, Han Solo, Heartfelt, Hey Snakes, Hoodie Cam, I'm Rick James, bitch, Isaac McFlurry, Issa David. We're on page 3 here, folks. Stick with me. It's me, No, Jack Gibley, Jackson Mueller, Jacob Pena, Jacob Saffel, Jordan Davis, Jacob Chavoya, James Brian Balago, Jason De Dios, Javier Rodriguez, Jalen Steele, JC Worley, Jeremiah Finley, Jesse Guerrero, Jahihi Ahihi, Joe Velez, Joey Romig, Jolly Green Giant, Jordan Lynch, Jordy Marte, Jaz B, Jose Ceja, Jose Santi's cousin, Josh Sutton, JR, Judson Daniels, Juicy, Justice, Justin Brooks, Justin Perkins, Caden Rivers, Kai Lone Star Jordan, Kuwaiti Rick Boogs, Kyrie Lawrence, Kyle Hansett, Leon, let me boo you out of the building, brother. Liam, Lil Shifu, Luke Parker, Luke Sika, Manly Man, Marnie YCSM, Marv McLung, Matthew Dollar, Matthew Oberg, Matthew Watkins, Mekki, Meredith Lee, Michael Purnell, Miguel Paredes, Mikey Rada, Mitchell Harris, Mitchell X, Muhammad Albanai, Monte Moore, Nathaniel Stevenson, Neb, Nellen Zach, Nicholas Kyle, Nighthawk, Noah, Obi Nobi, Osama Awad, Osam, Pat R, Pat McMark, Paul Heyman Guy, Peter Novak, Pim Kaw, prayers to your family, Santi, thank you, Preston Smith, Frody, Puke, Punk Fan, Puppet Spanker Johnson, Reaper God, Rhea Ripley Lookalike Contest in my bedroom, Ricky Dutcher, RKO, Robert Rogers, Rocky B, Royce Ruffo, Riley, Sam Duke, Santi needs to play Fortnite, Santi the golden boy who oils up on Sundays, Santi wants Sancho to give him the glaze, Saudi Rick Boogs, Scotty Bear, Screamo Scott, Semba, Seymour Butts, nice, Shaggy WWE, Shane, Shitstain Nakamura, Simon Scareborn, Sip God, Sir Alberton, Sir Nightmare entering the Royal Rumble for Mania tickets, Scuggies Liz, Slow Toke Rodriguez, Solo, fuck you, Summer V, Squirt Angle, 75 carat lookalike contest in my bedroom, Stucky, Sugar Shane, Sugar Malachi Galaxy, Toasty Boy, Tanner Cloudis, The Final Pebble, The Lewis Brand, The Nacho Man, Gabe D, The Strasberg Effect, Tim is a Dutch name that Santi can't say correct, Timmy Fitzmaurice, Tobias Burnett, Tom Lehman, Trenthead Ty, Tyler Freeze, Tyler Logan, V. Charles, Vegan Penguin, Juan Pablo, White Mexican, William Newton, Willem Cecil, Wo JC, Javier Izquierdo, Zach Zmira, Deadshot, Zach Griffin, Zach Butcher, Zay2K Zergzito, and Lord BBNJ. Thank you all for being producers of the show and helping Sancho and I do what we do as often as we do it. This has been the Wrestling is Cool podcast. You folks take care and be wonderful people.